happen. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to game number 2, Fnatic.EU facing off against Virtus.Pro. And before we dive too much into the draft, this, of course, is a best out of 3. This is game number 2. Currently, Fnatic leading the series 1-0. The winner of this series moves on to face the loser of the winner bracket finals tomorrow. That game to be played later today between Na'Vi versus Empire. That will be a best out of 3. And for that one, hopefully, I will also be joined by the man who joins me for this one. He is none other than Merlini. How you doing, Ben?
How's it going? Game number 2, let's see it.
And from what I understand, you've had some coffee, starting to wake up, and I don't know if the sun's shining over there. It's pretty gray and cold here, so.
Right, same.
Hopefully the game will cheer us up a little bit. It was a tough game for Virtus.Pro, and the one thing you said you definitely expected was, well, exactly what we see, a Wisp ban.
Yeah, it was, Wisp was such a huge problem for them. I definitely expected them to ban it. They didn't really have any solution to him. Bounty Hunter, usually if he gets decent farm, can just pick off a Wisp, but not with that kind of start.
I mean, even if they're, well, yeah, VP, this is a very different lineup from them. They're going for the Darkseer Jakiro. It's much more AoE and teamfight focused, which we see a lot of teams run this, but VP is normally not one of them. They like their carry heroes like the Lifesteal, kind of those single target focused ones. You know, the burst damage, spread the map heroes. And then, you know, split pushers like Prophet. We see them play heroes like that and the Bounty Hunter a lot. Jakiro, Darkseer, I mean, they're pretty versatile. They can do whatever, but it is looking like more of a 5-man lineup than what we're used to seeing from VP. And on the side of Fnatic, what do you make of this? The Nyx has really fallen. He's really come into favor lately. And some teams are, I think I even saw Team Liquid first pick him recently, but they get their hands on some very aggressive heroes, the Nyx Assassin and the Batrider.
It's very hard to do anything about a Spike Carapace. Like, you know, Jakiro is just gonna, you know, just always take damage. There's no way for him to avoid it with his 3 AoE spells. Darkseer as well is 3 AoE spells as well. So we'll probably see the Spike Carapace come in pretty handy. And we see VP take a Fury on again. Didn't really make too much of an impact, but that's only because they lost their lanes. So hopefully we'll see more action from him this game.
Well, they go for the Prophet again, and I wonder how they're going to lane him. We have a Darkseer. He can go solo mid and do pretty well against Batrider. Batrider's just never going to kill him unless he maybe gets a haster and it gets level 6 first. But outside of that, you can always surge away if the napalm stacks become too much. That would be the only non-traditional thing. Otherwise, we could see him off-lane and Prophet in the jungle. The one issue I have with that jungle Prophet is it just really weakens your laning stage in most cases, and that's where this Fnatic lineup is going to shine, I feel. Batrider, obviously a dominant later. Lone Druid, very strong 1v1, and can actually kill a Darkseer pretty early if he gets lucky in tangles. So I'm a little worried about Virtus.Pro in the laning stage.
Yeah, we need to see what they pick for their safe lane. They need something that can probably handle a Starladder one-on-one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure how Fnatic plays the Batrider. I mean, we've seen teams do everything from jungle Batrider. Sometimes he gets the safe lane early on and then heads into the jungle. Obviously, he can solo mid. He can off lane. I'm not sure. I want to say it's Trixie who plays the Lone Druid, in which case it would be a solo Lone Druid. Or it might be Era, in which case it'd be a safe lane. So basically, I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, should be interesting. Yeah,
same with Nyx too. Nyx, you know, he can solo mid. He can babysit as well. He can be in tri lanes. So who knows? Fnatic has pretty open options right now.
What are we seeing as far as our bans go? We see there is still a disruptor available. One of the best ways to deal with Batrider is he blinks in. You can just glimpse him back, and that will break the lasso, even if he's already gotten it, as long as it's a long enough blink. Shadow Demon, another great way to deal with him, but he's banned. I don't know if Disruptor really fits with the rest of their draft, though.
I'm surprised Fnatic banned Nakes. Batrider's pretty good versus Nakes. So is Lone Druid, actually. If you go on the big, or actually Lone Druid is so-so, but Batrider's pretty good versus Nakes. You can just, if he rages, you just ult him, and then you just kill him after his rages up. So
yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing to sort of keep in mind for VP is there is a Batrider, so you can't rely on just one carry getting farmed, because even if you do, you can get lassoed, you can get entangled, and then focus down. Which I feel like normally when we see teams do well against Batrider is when they have multiple sources of damage, multiple. I guess Prophet could provide that, but it takes him quite a while. And I mean, we saw last game some 5-man Dota from Fnatic in the mid game. Luna probably the premier carry to give you an early 5-man option just because of that aura. Just makes your team so good when they're grouped up.
yeah, we're starting to see Fnatic's lanes. I predict a Lone Druid top, Luna bottom, and either Nyx or Batrider mid. Probably, I'm not sure, probably Nyx. And then the last one may be a babysit, but that's speculation at this point.
Yeah, I think they run their Nyx as a support. I believe it's something Fly would play, but not 100% on that. So, I mean, either way, it's going to be... And that's the question for VP is, wow, Witch Doctor. What are they going to do with this? This isn't. We never see this hero picked. Like I've maybe seen him once in the past 4 or 5 months.
It's probably gonna be a hard carry last. I would suspect maybe like Faceless Void or something combos very well with Witch Doctor.
I like that, and it's also great against Lone Druid. If it's even a hero like Luna, I mean, you kind of just want to burst them down. Oh, Weaver.
Weaver, wow.
This is a carry they've been running a lot. This is something they like to pick, and I'm guessing it's going to be maybe an aggressive tri-lane, I want to say. Well, actually...
Witch Doctor pick is very surprising to me.
This is curious. I mean, they don't... Witch Doctor isn't really the best aggressive support. Cask is just not normally that good. He's really strong defensively. He can give you a lot of bursts with Maledict, but I'm really interested to see how VP lane this. Let's find out as we introduce the players. Airman going to be playing the Weaver. He was our maligned Nakes last game. He just couldn't get anything going on that lifesteal. Let's see if he has better luck this time around. Santa on that Prophet. CRZ looking to be headed to the mid. Nope, to the off lane probably. Has the early stout shooter, maybe even jungling. We have NS on that support Jakiro. KSI on the Witch Doctor. And on the other side of the map, we have Era playing the Luna. Hani on the Batrider. Interesting. Hani's more been playing the carry role for this team. No-Tail, or at least a semi-carry. Nyx Assassin going to be handled by No-Tail. And Fly going to be playing that Lina. Last but not least, we have Trixie. So should be either an off-lane or maybe even just a jungle Lone Druid to start. We'll see. But for the moment, all headed towards top.
He bought 2 sets of regen. I think he's probably going to be off-lane. You normally don't get that sort of build if you're going to be jungle. Right. So we see a Treant scout out their 5 heroes. So as soon as VP scouts that out, they all disperse back to their lanes. No easy first blood for either team.
Well... yeah, I guess both teams just protecting their own jungle, which suggests we're going to see at least one, I mean, at least a lot of pulls, if nothing else. Very kind of defensive play from them. I'm still curious about this Witch Doctor pick. I'm wondering exactly why Witch Doctor. I mean, there were some other options. I'm trying to remember who they were offhand. They could have gotten the Lina, for example, if they wanted, I believe, because that was the last pick for Fnatic. I guess it gives you a hero that can provide some burst, so if you get a nice Maledict off, can bring down a tanky hero like Lone Druid a bit quicker. The heal can be nice to push.
I think Cask's pretty decent versus the bear. I think it stuns for 5 seconds, I'm not positive, but if so, that would be a pretty good pickup. But, you know, if Witch Doctor gets underfarmed at all, he's just going to be complete food for this Nyx Assassin.
The chat is saying carry Witch Doctor, which sounds great in a pub game, but... yeah, not gonna see that. It looks like we have a pause for the moment. No real indication why there's a pause. I'm guessing, you know, keyboard not configured correctly or Dota hotkeys not right, something along those lines. But as we look at these lanes, it looks like is Darkseer? Is he soloing mid? I think he might be.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. Furion doesn't have his Treant set up, I don't think, to solo the off lane, but I'm not exactly sure what's going to go on here.
I think he may just be kind of jungling and then if that lane pushes, then he'll go and soak up the experience. But yeah, he's not really anywhere near there for the moment. He'll send some more treants out, probably to scout the rune, but not really in position to pull the wave back.
Same with Starladder. He's actually a little bit behind because they went 5-man jungle top, but he is sending his bear bottom right now just so he can pull that wave. They do have a couple ranged heroes, but I don't think they'll be able to stop it. So for Fnatic, it looks like we'll have a triple lane top, Nyx Assassin and Lina babysitting the Luna, and then mid will be Hani on. Is that Hani? JK?
That is Hani.
Yeah. So Hani's on Batrider, looking to rush bottle with triple branch and Tango build, and then bottom will be Trixie with his stout shield on bear. No early over venom or ring of protection for early tranquils, but decent regen to help with whatever he's facing bottom.
Yeah, as we look at the two safe lane tri-lanes for both teams, Fnatic has a really strong killing tri-lane. Not only do you have a lot of chain stun coming from the Lina, as well as the Nyx Assassin, but you also have Luna, and once she gets even a single point in Lunar Blessing, that's plus 42 damage across those three heroes, which just makes it so much easier to find kills. I feel like Prophet just shouldn't be in the lane at all, because if he is, they can tower dive him once they hit level 2 or 3 and kill him off pretty easily.
Yeah, he went a different build than last game. Last game, he just picked up a couple of clarities for the jungle. This game, he has Ring of Protection probably for early Basilius, so they can take out some early towers, and Tangos and Double Branch. So this is definitely a laning Furion. We're not sure whether he's going mid or top yet. He's probably, I don't know, Darkseer is better suited mid, but, you know, Nature's Prophet is not going to survive top at all.
And how about the other side? It's a Witch Doctor, Jakiro plus Weaver. I think this is a little better for the Lone Druid, but still a pretty tough lane for him as well.
Looks like both carries are going to get free farm at least for the laning phase of the game, Weaver and Luna both.
And who does that favor? I mean, for me, I feel like it's better just to give the Luna that farm, whereas Weaver, I'm not sure how much he's really going to be able to do in comparison, because Luna just gives you that ability to group up and push once she hits level 7. Weaver, not so much.
Weaver's much better in team fights though, in that like early mid phase though. Like Luna has to have like a lot of items in order to be a very big presence in team fights. In early game, you know, they're going to have treants to tank a little bit of a clip, so that will definitely help.
Yeah, that's a good point, and having those abilities just to kind of tank up the Eclipse does make it a little bit weaker. Still have to worry about all the damage she gives your team. For the moment, the bear is trying to pull this wave back. Or actually not even trying to pull the wave and taking a lot of auto attack damage, just making sure that the creep wave pushes into the tower. Unfortunately, Airman is wise to this and is not going to allow it. Although we saw Sven losing half his health. Airman says, screw it, man. We're going to have to let the lane push a little bit. So a small victory for the Lone Druid, although it looks like the bear will fall. Should be able to resummon it. Actually, no, 40 seconds until he can.
Carry Witch Doctor with that early bear kill.
Yeah, he's getting fat, man. He's got his Aghanim Scepter in like 2 minutes or so. It's good to go. If only. The bear gives a decent amount of experience as well, I believe. Yeah, already half a level on the Witch Doctor and the Jakiro from that kill. And Trixie comes in, but this is one thing Witch Doctor does excel at. His auto attacks are filthy for a support hero. 59 base damage at level 1.
I don't think so.
Trixie just having a really rough time. His bear is almost off cooldown, but he's still, you know, level 1, only 18 experience.
Yeah, and as we look at the other lanes, as there's not for the moment too much action. Trixie obviously struggling there. Darkseer has 5 napalm stacks on him, but even 6, it doesn't matter. You're not killing him unless you have that lasso in level 6, or Darkseer decides to dive you, and so CRZ should be fine. Is farming reasonably well with Ion Shell spam. Hani getting a little bit of an edge in this lane, but not overwhelming, so pretty even matchup mid.
Oh, we see a smoke gank. We see Nyx pick up a haste. They're smoke ganking mid. Let's see if there's an early first blood.
Oh, this could be it. They've got the chain stun, and he's already used Surge. Oh, dodges in fact, wildly missing on that Light Strike Array. They do push CRZ back, and now the Firefly comes out. He's got Surge in 3 seconds. This could be an overextension by Fnatic. Batrider's dropping low. Everybody dropping low. Batrider will die to the tower. In fact, Fly may die as well. There's another Surge. He's got the stun. Will he land it? Prophet comes in. Gotta hit this Light Strike Array or you're dead, or you're just dead to the auto attacks, and doesn't hit it. CRZ gonna live that high base armor, 8 armor for the Darkseer with the Rid of Basilius for the Prophet. What a horrendous dive from Fnatic.
Right. Lina missed 2 Light Strike Arrays. You can't have those sort of errors in the first blood gank.
And they have the Impale to set it up. Granted, there is Surge to worry about, and Darkseer still at the Surge going after that Impale, but just not really communicating, and it cost them big time there.
So we actually see Santa not laning at all. I thought he was going to lane because he went a couple branches, which you usually do not go if you're jungling, but he just starts off in a jungle and just like, screw this, I'm not going top and feeding, I'm just going to pick up some safe farm in, you know, these couple of lanes. And he was there to assist with that first blood too. He didn't have to TP. He was able to TP and get that second kill on the Lina. So good choice by him.
And he's level 4, just about, which, you know, he helped out mid early on, he got the kill, and he's also, we look at the Lone Druid, he just hits level 2. Prophet's getting more out of his lane. Now, the one issue this could cause is Era could look to push the lane, but Era's already got Gloves of Haste, so it looks to be a Midas rush for him. Something, I mean, Luna is quite level dependent. You really want to max Lunar Blessing, get that level 2 ultimate, and the nuke maxed as quickly as possible, and then the Glaives later on, but this is, I feel like this is playing into the Prophet's hand because there's not going to be as much pressure on that tower early on.
Right. We see Weaver and Luna both very, very close in net worth, 1700, 1800 area. So they're keeping pace on farm.
CRZ is going to surge towards the bottom rune. One of the nice things about this Darkseer mid is, with Surge, there's really not a whole lot Fnatic can do to contest those runes except just sending a support there in advance. But then there's always Prophet who can look to jack it. Despite, you know, what looked like maybe a little bit of trouble mid lane, that first blood gets turned around, goes their way, and I mean, all
that magic wand definitely saved them too.
Yeah, and speaking of that magic wand, this guy's got like 30 fountain trips in between his bottle and his magic wand, 14 charges.
See the power of Darkseer again, just a very durable hero. He is very strong, laning early, he's very easy to farm with. Pretty difficult to kill. He has like really good stat gain, so.
And it's also that base armor. I mean, not only are his abilities great in the laning phase, but he had, with the Prophet, Rid of Basilius, he had 8 armor, or maybe it was 7 in that engagement mid, which you compare that to the Bat Rider who's got okay armor for an intelligence hero, 3. He's just not, I mean, he's a hero that can be pretty tanky, but nothing like a Darkseer.
So this is a little bit different from last game as far as the early game goes. Is just, you know, passive farm. We didn't really have a passive safe lane farmer. Last game they had Invoker, and they did not pick it up this game. Oh, we see another smoke from the 2 stunners. Let's see if it's going to yield in a kill.
You got me nervous. I thought someone was already dead, and I was frantically trying to find it. Here we go. They are smoked up, heading towards mid. They really want to keep CRZ down, but this gank has to work. If this gets turned around again... Oh, bottom lane, the dive onto Trixie simultaneously should be dead. Doesn't have Entangle yet. Airman picks up the kill there. And this smoke gank, Fnatic just not actually accomplishing anything yet. While they're waiting, Era's dying top. He's been maledicted. He'll drop to this. Not able to pick off Santa. The smoke gank completely fails, and this is one of the benefits of that solo Darkseer mid. Not an easy kill. Just Fnatic not finding any openings.
So we see some early pressure top. Everyone's clearing up after that kill. Flask on Nature's Prophet. Everyone's ready to fight, and it looks like they're going to back off. They notice that the stunners are missing, and they just let Treants take the tower. So, actually, Luna, with her free farm on top, actually does not have that good of a start after that kill. Weaver, on the other hand, picked up an easy kill on the Lone Druid, just tower diving past that base tier 2. So.
And sometimes that can be dangerous. If you get entangled and you don't have time lapse, you can be in a lot of trouble, but doesn't have it yet. In fact, he's still level 3. If he was just in the jungle, he'd have more than this, but they left him bottom, I guess to try and control the lane and make sure it doesn't get pushed early. But not really working out. You compare that to the Prophet, I think he's about to hit level 6. He's not too far off a Midas if he goes for it.
Maybe I thought he was going Tranquil in that Midas. He's actually picking up Treads and Basilius. Interesting build.
I like the early Basilius, though, because it really helps them to, you know, counter gank. It's just a great item if you want to push. And they do have some good pushing supports. If Witch Doctor gets a point in heal, which he does now, just picked it up at level 4. And of course, you've got a point in Liquid Fire. Meanwhile, middle lane, 4 heroes converge on this. And VP says, you 5-man last game. Guess what? We're going to 5-man even earlier this time around. Well, not quite 5, but getting there.
So yeah, Furion being in the off lane, kind of. I guess he just roamed jungle. He's actually level 6 now. And we see this lone druid who's still level 4. He just hit level 4. So it looks like VP will take an uncontested tower middle, while the two stunners are main AoE heroes are just sitting top.
And Fnatic really not that quick to respond. They're trying to push this lane now. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Airman taking some damage. Trixie's still not level 5. Still no entangle. Prophet ult now up. And Fnatic, I feel they've sort of missed that opportunity where you had an empty top lane. You could have gotten easily a tier 1 and maybe worked on a tier 2, but now it's going to be a lot harder with that Prophet hitting 6. Diving on the bottom lane. They want Trixie. Airman try to pick him off. Will find him. May pay for this. Should pay for this. Last one has no mana with that early Perseverance. Is so far away. He will drop to that. Barely, though, because the Ice Path came in. No Tail taking some damage from Maledict, but it's only level 1 Maledict. Now the heal on KSI, making Witch Doctor fairly durable. He should be able to get out of here. The Flame Break, not really enough. When it's all said and done, Lone Druid drops again. Era decides not to get the Midas. Goes back for Power Treads.
So we see some very under-leveled gankers on Fnatic side. Level 3 Lina, level 4 Nyx. You know, they really need to get level 6 to be good gank threats. And, you know, just missing out on the first one was just very, very costly. Yielded in deaths for both of those heroes. Instead of like, you know, they could have been just been sitting top, creep pulling, trying to get level 6 so they can be effective around the map.
I don't know if this is the best hero to be diving, and Virtus Pro thinks better of it, but this hero is a pretty easy dive when you've got the Treants. Normally, Luna is a hero you don't want to tower dive because of Eclipse, but with those Treants, really nothing they can do about it. Oh, CRZ may have overextended here. He surges directly into the Light Strike Array. That one will land. Unfortunately, he's level 9 with 7 armor, almost 1,000 HP, constant surge, and actually has gone for 3 points in surge. I guess just expecting all those ganks mid and wanting to be a little bit more maneuverable. They get the tower bottom, and the tier 1 top taking a lot of damage. VP just absolutely outmaneuvering Fnatic. Actually want to check the gold graph. Oh, I didn't want to check the gold graph. Already over 4k advantage. 10 minutes in. This is absolutely brutal. And experience, even more significant. VP very level dependent. Even their supports need a lot of levels. And they're getting them.
Yeah, excellent. They really need to get levels on their support gankers. Alina doesn't even have boots. She has absolutely no stats. Just 3 obs wards, 2 sentries. She's just, you know, complete food right now. Really needs to catch up and farm if possible.
And there's so many heroes to pick her off easily. The Darkseer, the Weaver, and the Prophet. These heroes can just get on top of you, and it's real hard to land a Light Strike Array against most of them.
Don't forget about the carry Witch Doctor. He is level 5 yet, no ultimate.
Well, he's got the Arcane Boots, obviously the making of a Bloodstone, so on his way, man. He's on his way.
You see Weaver trying to put some pressure out on this Lone Druid middle. He gets entangled, immediately time lapses. Furion attempts to TP in, but thinks twice before TPing in Eclipse without any treants up.
Yeah, wouldn't be a good idea. The treants are kind of neutering that Eclipse when it's up, but obviously if they're down, you got to be careful. Era now rotates mid, and what we saw last game for the other side, Fnatic just had the map control. They were out farming and really out controlling the lanes everywhere, constantly pushing with the aggressive wards. It seems like that's what we might see out of VP. As soon as that tier 1 falls top, they smoke up, they head into the enemy jungle. Carry Witch Doctor leading the way, already level 5. Daedalus coming soon. Trying to find...
Are they gonna find this Witch Doctor? Oh, looks like they go in the Luna, but
that is not a hero you want to dive.
Off. Right. No Fury on there. So they weren't actually able to pick off anyone with a smoking. They were looking for Trixie, I believe, but he was creeping pretty safely. The big camp. And I think they kind of saw it coming too.
Trixie, up to 1,400 gold. It's level 6, so to some extent he's bounced back, but still feels very squishy. And that's the one thing that Maledict will help them with in the mid game, is bringing down that Lone Druid a bit more quickly.
Yeah, it looks like he's rushing Radiance right now. He has 1,400 gold, no Gloves of Haste, no Tranquils, no Boots on Bear. Just, you know, straight Radiance after Boots.
We're seeing a 12-minute Roshan, and honestly, I don't think Fnatic can do anything about this. Now, normally, this would be incredibly dangerous. If the Nyx Assassin is level 7, has that Maxed Impale, has Vendetta, you have to worry about Batrider maybe. Well, he just got his Blink, but like you said, because those supports are under-leveled, Fnatic just can't contest Roshan. VP are going to get a 12-minute Aegis, maybe on the Weaver, I think, but Whoever they give it to is just going to be able to be so much more aggressive.
The Weaver does pick it up. Bat tries to Firefly in. He has a blink, but it was just too late. I don't think they saw it coming. They don't have a ward down there.
Yeah, maybe think about some sexy Bambo style Aegis Jacks, but not able to find it.
So it looks like they're just trying to keep applying the pressure. VP attempts to take bottom T2 tower, and doesn't look like anyone is going to TP back home. So again, another uncontested tower is going to be 4-0 in favor of VP tower-wise.
I'm actually just looking at the items tab right now, and it's pretty... I mean, the gold graph is one thing, but if you give those numbers some, like, real-world impact, it's pretty scary. Weaver's not too far off the Lincolns. Could have it by, like, the 17, 18-minute mark at this rate. Already the mech up on Darkseer, Midas up on the Prophet, and probably more gold on top of that. They're getting... I mean, even the supports, and that's perhaps the bigger thing. Witch Doctor, Arcane Boots, Earn, and 500 gold. Could honestly get an early gem if he wanted to help deal with that Nyx Assassin, do some dewarding. And Jakiro up to another 1200. Whatever they want, I mean, the world's their oyster. VP just so far ahead.
So, looks like Fnatic took the time to actually place wards. Notice they didn't have a Roshan ward early. They have a mid ward and a bottom ward while they were taking a T2. Nyx Assassin just hit level 6, so we'll probably see a Vendetta gank very soon. And it looks like they are going to defend this T2 middle.
Can they really defend it, though? What do they have at their disposal? With that mech, the nukes just aren't... first of all, the nukes aren't maxed. It's only a level 2 Dragon Slave. Not too much anti-push on the side of Fnatic. One of the weaknesses of their lineup. Firefly can be decent, Flamebreak can be decent, but when you've got the Witch Doctor heal and the mech...
They don't have any sentries, looks like. We see a Flamebreak initiation.
Uh-oh, and it's getting caught a little bit out of position. That was a nice Light Striker Ray. It looks like it caught 2, but Era's still to fall first. And Fnatic just in a headlong retreat. No Tail probably going to drop here next. He will be brought down. Triple kill for the Darkseer. And the Weaver, with that Ion Shell on him, such a nice combo. Who needs Surge when you've got Sakuchi? So many easy kills. VP, what is this, 5 towers in 14 minutes? And it feels even worse than that, but they're about to just wipe Fnatic's every single outer tower off the map by the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, this poor Lina just hit level 5. It just has boots. 15 minutes in, no Laguna Blade yet.
Even if she had it, I mean, will it be able to kill anyone? You've got the level 11 Weaver with the Aegis, so you really can't focus him anyway. Darkseer has the mech to keep anyone who drops low alive. Even though the Witch Doctor just having an Urn means that he's not a guaranteed kill. Like, normally if the Witch Doctor's under-leveled, you Laguna Blade him, he's probably losing 2/3 of his health. But this time, maybe only half, and can then be healed back up.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
It's just crazy how that first game was like the exact opposite of this. It took a little bit longer for Fnatic to close the deal. I think mostly just because of their lineup. And the game's not over quite yet, but where's the comeback going to come from for Fnatic? They have a level 6 or level 7 Nyx, so maybe they can find some picks with Lasso and Vendetta, but it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, they could easily pick up a gem right now. Like, Darkseer, he's very, very difficult to take down. I'm pretty sure he could carry a gem, but they don't even have sentry wards. They're not scared of those Nyx at all.
Yeah, he's also... He could have a pipe if he wanted. I don't know how badly they need it. There's only really the Lina and the Luna with a lot of magic damage. I guess you get some from Batrider, but he's not living for long when he jumps into these fights. Well, whatever they want, they haven't bought it yet. Hottie jumps in, catches out the Witch Doctor. They're tired of this pesky Voodoo Jester. He'll be brought down. Oh, and now Era taking some damage. Will he be able to survive? He will not. Now the bear to drop. Nope, the bear lives. Nobody brought down aside from the Witch Doctor. Oh, maybe Airman's overextended just a touch. He's got the Lincoln Sphere cooling down. He's still got the Aegis. He'll be able to escape. And Witch Doctor buys back. They're gonna try and force this. There's no more Lasso for a full minute. There is an Eclipse, but really, will he find the opening? VP want to end this game.
We see an early buyback from Witch Doctor. He got lassoed, but Lasso's on cooldown right now. Immediate buyback, TP back mid. Continue the pressure with the Voodoo heal.
And this ability is so strong at level 1. In fact, it's more efficient at level 1 than when you level up. Santa gets picked off. Oh, the creep wave dies. They didn't have any more treants, so the Eclipse does some decent damage. VP did not seem like they were quite prepared for that, but there is a Weaver in the back lines wreaking havoc. 4 heroes vacuumed into the treants, but can Airman find the pickoffs? Era should drop next. This Weaver, because of his levels, just hitting so incredibly hard. He only has the level 2 swarm, but it seems to be enough. Airman just not dying and killing everyone. Now chasing down No-Tail with the Ion Shell on top of him. Should just run next to No-Tail. A couple more auto attacks and No-Tail will fall to this. The aggression, relentless. Airman's diving the base. He gets another. Sure, all the supporting cast dies or is driven back, but he doesn't care. Now Prophet rejoins the fight, and this time there will be no clips. The lasso is off cooldown. Batrider back at the fountain for the moment, but I think it's going to be too late. No glyph is up. VP looking for that 20-minute, 18-minute Rex, actually. Oh, Batrider jumps in, wants to catch out CRZ, but he's so tanky, can't actually pop the mech. He's got the snow, he doesn't have the Soul Ring, he doesn't have the mana for it. No-Tail wants to finish him. He's got the Vendetta, looking to pick off CRZ, not quite able to do so. Meanwhile, the Rack's about to fall. Still chasing CRZ. No-Tail was just a win and a prayer there, hoping for that kill. Can't find it. Are we really seeing an 18-minute Rex, Merlini? This is...
Wow.
This is kind of insane.
It could have gone a lot smoother. If only they had a Sentry War, we'll probably see them pick it up for their next push. So a little bit of tactical mistake. They got Vendetta and then triple stunned by that nicely positioned Impale and set it up, but a little bit of overextension by Fnatic. This Weaver, you know, just incredibly farmed at this point. Lincoln's, Treads, he had Aegis, it just expired, it looks like. So, looks like they're going to continue to pressure, maybe trying to take another Rex at this point.
Yeah, he didn't even lose it as far as I can tell. I'm pretty sure it just expired.
Right.
And that's scary. When Weaver doesn't even lose the Aegis and he's diving your base, he's getting close to the tier 4s to secure kills, and that just walks away. And that early link is so nice to have against Fnatic, with the Lasso, with the Impale. So many powerful abilities that you just don't want to be used to initiate upon you.
So it looks like they're continuing to pressure. We see another push. We see sentries actually drop by Fnatic to maybe try and kill the Weaver.
Oh, they're going to jump in on Hani. It's Witch Doctor who's leading the charge. He's got an Ogre Club. He's feeling manly. Wants to heal that team. There's your Death Ward, the first of the game. Will it actually be, at least the first that I've seen? The Ice Path comes out the other way. Just trying to sort of get them back to safety. Now round 2 of the push. There are no treants up. But with the heals, I guess they feel confident. They should have a pipe on the Darkseer. No, they don't, because he bought Boots of Travel and a Blink Dagger. Okay, well, that's something a little different. Maybe not the best items to push, but they are far ahead. They're feeling confident.
Oh, he has a gem this time, too. So
yeah,
they're prepared for the next gank.
Will they be prepared for that Eclipse? It is a level 2 Eclipse, and it is available. The treants are... Are they going to be resummoned? Nope. Looks like they're killed off. Oh, no. Here's the fresh wave coming in just now, and in comes the Darkseer. Vacuums in, too. Into the wall, into a lot of trouble. Trixie's going to drop first. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Hani jumped in and just couldn't find anyone to lasso. Now being driven away. Airman, time to dive the fountain, kill off Fly, and then come back with the time lapse into the middle of the fight. Doesn't even care. The wall really not accomplishing too much. Actually, it is, because it's got a lone Druid illusion. Strutting around with 10 armor, 1300 health. Now the Rex starting to fall. Airman, forget about the Rex. He wants all the kills. Vacuum on 3. Should be able to pick up a couple more here for Airman. Although remember, he doesn't have the Aegis. The Lincoln comes off cooling down for him as well. Doesn't have it yet, but this, just the heals. They've got the mech, they've got the Witch Doctor heal. It's just keeping them all relatively healthy, as well as that urn. So many ways to sustain this push, as well as just spammable nukes like the Ice Path, the Sakuchi, the Chase to get these pickoffs. Fnatic are doing an admirable job of hanging on, but it seems like their time has run out. They're going to lose 2 lanes of Rex, and 21 minutes in. There ain't no coming back from this.
Right. Bear has Midas nowhere close to his Radiant, so after that buyback. So that's pretty much their only hope of victory at this point. Maybe Luna gets farmed, but she's still a decent... Oh, looks like GG right there.
It felt like time.
Right. 21 minutes. 2 racks.
Yeah, I mean, clearly standard time to end the game. It was almost 1,000 gold advantage per minute, this game. Over 15,000 when it ended. But more importantly, the death push. A little bit of an unorthodox support pick by the Witch Doctor, but we saw what VP had in mind, that just that early point in the heal is so good for sustaining pushes, and he didn't even have to level it up. I mean, that plus the Twin-Headed Dragon, who's great at bringing down towers early, obviously has a lot of good crowd control if you want a 5-man to punish the enemy team for grouping up. And getting the early mech on the Darkseer, this was a very well thought out draft from VP.
Yeah, Darkseer's wreaked havoc in both games. First game, you know, he just got the early first blood on the Voker. This game, he actually got first blood, or at least it was in his lane with that early dive and smoke gank. So that that first smoking just really set the pace for VP. Just snowballing after that, just taking every tower down, not giving any room for their supports to hit level 6 and gank effectively. Normally, Nyx and Lina can keep down a Weaver pretty well. They have very, very heavy nukes and good lockdown, but they just weren't able to get the farm nor the levels.
Well, unfortunately, that was... Fortunately for VP, they stave off elimination. Of course, this is a best out of 3. This was game number 2. Just didn't go the way that Fnatic hoped. They had potentially the answers for the Weaver, like you said, but just couldn't get them enough momentum to make them actual answers. Of course, this is a best out of 3. Game 3 coming up soon. I'm LD. I'm joined here today by Merlini. If you enjoy his casting, go follow him. Twitter.com/MerliniDota. His stream as well. He streams a lot. I got to say more than almost anyone else who's a popular streamer. Twitch.tv/MerliniDota. But anyway, stay tuned, guys. Game number 3 coming up soon.